So it seems to me that the robot vacuum cleaner market seems to have stepped up its game recently in terms of innovation, with new ways for manufacturers to take even more of our money in order to clean our homes. And in this video today, I'm going to go through one of the latest products that's just come on the market. Hey everyone, and welcome to a new video on Bite of Geek. So in this video I'm going to be going through a new product from SwitchBot. That is the K10 Pro Combo smart vacuum cleaner kind of like system that they've gone and launched. So massive thanks to SwitchBot for sending that product out to me to be able to review on the channel and give you all my honest opinion. They haven't paid anything for this review, so you know, they've got no influence over the content of the video. But this is an interesting product, and I think, you know, this will not necessarily appeal to everybody. You know, it really depends upon what your setup is at home. So at the moment we use a K10 Pro, nice little mini robot vacuum. There is a review on the channel about that if you want to see the full details of that robot vacuum. I'll drop a link in the description. There is a little link up above if you want to watch that as well. But basically, you know, we use that, and we also have a stick vacuum as well, which is a Bosch Athlete. Now, you know, we had the Bosch before we got the robot vacuum, and you know, it's a pretty good cleaner for the most part of things, but it's nice to have the robot vacuum kind of just go off and do what we need it to do on a daily basis. Now, where SwitchBot come in with the K10 Pro Combo is basically they've taken the K10 Pro and they've redesigned the base station to basically accommodate a stick vacuum in the back of it, and you get all of this in one big package. And you can see a little bit of the unboxing going on here. You really do get an awful lot of parts. I've never had so many parts with a vacuum cleaner as this, but it is all pretty straightforward. You know, I only had to glance a couple of times at the instruction booklet, but you know, it's a well thought out design. You know, the base station is a little bit slimmer to the one that comes with the K10 Pro. You know, what you do have though is you do kind of, and it is a little bit optional, but obviously, you know, if you're going to have the vacuum behind the stick vacuum behind, you are going to need it. There is kind of like a little step at the back that keeps it further away from the wall, so it doesn't go right up to the wall as the K10 Pro does. You know, but that being said, you know, it's kind of like a little bit taller. I actually prefer this particular base station over the one that comes with the K10 Pro, and I do wonder whether, you know, when we get kind of like next iteration of the K10 Pro, whether SwitchBot will be, you know, kind of, you know, designing a base station that's you know, along the same lines as the one that comes with the combo. There are some subtle differences between the two actual robot vacuums itself. You know, the docking mechanism is slightly different. So you've got kind of like holes and pins for it to connect into when it docks, and you know, there's some other kind of like cosmetic changes to the actual robot vacuum. The other thing is they've gone and changed the kind of like the obstacle avoidance setup on the robot vacuum. So on the K10 Pro it is an LDS radar, and on the K10 Pro that comes with it, the combo pack, it is a DTOF radar. So you know, slight improvements. You know, what you'd kind of expect is a kind of like incremental design changes within a product as it goes through its life cycle. You know, there are other things as well. You know, the base station is a slightly smaller capacity than the one that comes with the K10 Pro, so there's kind of like swings and roundabouts with all of the various features that have changed between the two of them. Now, in terms of specification, well, obviously you've got multiple things going on here. So if we just take the K10 Pro actual robot vacuum itself for a second, so you've still got the 3000 PA vacuuming power. It's still got the anti-tangle brush. As I mentioned, the LDS radar has changed to a DTOF radar. It's still got the PSD distance sensor. So you're kind of the same kind of thing there. In terms of the base station, the storage capacity of it, because it is a slightly different design, it is only 70 days, up to 70 days, as opposed to up to 90 days for the K10 Plus Pro, and that's because it is a 3-litre capacity rather than a 4-litre capacity, so you lose a little bit there. Now, obviously, one of the other things as part of this is you do have that stick vacuum, and that's obviously got its own element of specification as well. So that is 20,000 PA in terms of suction power. That has the anti-tangle floor brush as well, and you get the kind of usual attachments that you get with vacuum. So you've got a flat head brush, you've got a crevice brush, and you've got they call it a mite removal brush, but everybody uses them in different ways. They're for down the side of the sofa, along your curtains, and in the boot of your car. They're basically the ways of looking at it, really. So setting this up is simplicity itself, as are all the SwitchBot devices. You launch the app, click on add a device, it will go and detect that you've got the Pro Combo, and you add that. You connect it all to your Wi-Fi, you put it in an area where it lives, and away it goes. So first time using it, it will go off and go start mapping the area, and in our home, that took something like 10-15 minutes to go through. It was quite quick doing that. As I say, all very, very similar to the same workings of the K10 Plus Pro vacuum review that I did previously. Now, I'm not going to go into huge detail about the actual robot vacuum itself. Suffice to say, it does exactly the same job that the K10 Plus Pro does by itself. You've got obviously all your smart functionality of that, and the big thing here is obviously the stick vacuum for me. Okay, it's not smart. I'm not sure how much smartness you can put into this kind of device. I can think of maybe a couple of little tiny things, but would that be worth it? But what I will say is this is a really good stick vacuum. So as I say, we've got our Bosch Athlete, and for the most part it's fine. A bit of a torture test for that vacuum is, because we've got an indoor cat, is sometimes you get litter that will get scattered on the floor, and on a tiled floor it's an absolute nightmare for vacuums to actually pick up, and inevitably you have to get a dustpan and brush out to be able to pick it up. So there's a little bit of a clip for you here, just to show you how really good the SwitchBot stick vacuum is at picking up cat litter. You can see here that within a couple of backwards and forwards, it's picked it all up. And if I kind of repeat the same test with the Bosch Athlete, it really does struggle. And the thing is, and this is always a problem with stick vacuums, is that when you lift it up with things like litter and small grain items like this, it basically all just falls back out again, because it gets caught just in the head of the vacuum. But it didn't do that with the SwitchBot. It just completely, nothing came back out of it. Now, obviously, vacuuming on a carpet should basically be the thing that these stick vacuums can do day in, day out. This is like a lot of these kind of high-end vacuums now. It's got a little green light on the front, so you can see all the pieces of dirt on your floor as you're vacuuming away. And the head is really quite nice and light to move around. Compared to the Bosch vacuum, which is kind of not a rubber spiral at the front, to be able to pick up dirt. It's more of a fabric one that goes along. The SwitchBot one feels really, really light and maneuverable to get into where you need it to go. Our Bosch one does, the carpet's not super thick, but the Bosch does tend to kind of like bump along The carpet can, in some cases get a little bit bogged down. It does clean it, but it's not the greatest of things to be able to move around. So the SwitchBot one is actually really quite nice. The only thing from my point of view is the handle's just a little bit funny. It is kind of like, part of the battery system, but it just feels, a little bit funny in that regards. There's no kind of natural handle on it, as it were. And with it being a stick vacuum, as I mentioned earlier, it does come with all the different attachments as well. So, you can, change it into a small handheld vacuum, and then you can go off and go and hoover the boot of your car if you need to do that. So, all really good and convenient, just like any normal stick vacuum. The thing with this is that obviously when you then, your robot docks back into the base station and you put your stick vacuum in, lo and behold, it basically takes the rubbish out of both of those devices. So, no more having to empty up the canister and go and empty the dirty canister in the bin and reach in and get, bits of fluff and stuff like that. Literally the whole lot just gets completely sucked out into the base station, but it does one after the other. You can see on this diagram here that SwitchBot have got, the stick vacuum, it goes down into the base station. Obviously the robot vacuum, it goes up into the base station. So everything kept together in one place. Now, in terms of smart home functionality, obviously you've got that full control with the SwitchBot app. It will integrate with Home Assistant, although that is limited, same as it was with the K10 Plus Pro, as to what options you get there. For Matter connectivity, there is a new firmware version coming out in the coming days from this video, that will basically mean that you won't need the hub to connect Matter over Wi-Fi. So a real nice option if you don't necessarily want to pay out for a hub for the connectivity. So what are my thoughts then about the SwitchBot K10 Plus Pro Combo? Well, apart from having a super long name, I actually think this is a pretty decent system. There's a couple of reasons for that. I think, if you've got a robot vacuum at the moment, you're happy with that, you would probably have to think hard as to whether you would want to kind of upgrade to something like this. This is the kind of thing that covers all the bases for you. If you miss out or missing out, because you've gone from a traditional vacuum to a robot one, and you think, I'm having to spend all my time, trying to clean out the car, or the difficult places to clean around the house and stuff like that, this has got you absolutely covered. If you've got a K10 Plus Pro at the moment, would it be worth upgrading? Yes, if you need the stick vacuum. I would definitely consider that. If you have another brand of vacuum that you're thinking of, needing to replace, and you're thinking, well, should I get a robot vacuum? I would thoroughly recommend this system. It's not perfect. None of these systems are perfect. As I say, there's a couple of design elements. The handle on the stick vacuum, I think, it's a bit, it's one of those things, you either love it or you hate it. For me, it just feels a little bit odd. Because the stick vacuum goes down the back of the base station, it sticks out more into the floor. So you are going to have to think about where you locate this. It's not a huge amount more than the K10 Plus Pro, but it is more than that. But then on the other hand, it is narrower than the base station for the K10 Plus Pro. So, kind of what SwitchBot give you, they take away with the other angle as well. So price-wise, the K10 Plus Pro is $599. The price for the K10 Plus Pro Combo is $799. Now, sounds a lot. I know of a particular brand which is more than that, just for kind of like, a regular vacuum and kind of like their stick vacuums as well. What you get in here, you're getting a robot vacuum and you're getting the stick vacuum. So effectively you're getting the stick vacuum for kind of like $200, which is incredible value for money. and you've got the convenience that goes with it of all being in the same base station for all of kind of like your waste collection as well. So you know, some really nice benefits from going for the all-in-one unit. So what are the downsides then? Well, I think, you know, there's probably only a few, if the truth be told. Yeah, and some of these are personal you know, preferences. So the handle on the stick vacuum, not a big fan of that. I think it's one of those love or hate kind of things, and I'll probably get used to it. But it is, you know, not something I'm kind of like, yeah, you know, that's brilliant. I guess, you know, the new base station, as good as it is, the fact that, you know, they've made it narrower and slightly taller, you know, it does protrude a little bit more away from the wall, because obviously you've got to put the stick vacuum behind it, compared to the base station with the K10 Plus Pro. And you know, from the robot vacuum point of view as well, as it was previously with the K10 Plus Pro, you know, with our cat, you know, he has a habit of leaving toys around the house and stuff like that, and whilst it doesn't pick up the toy and get it tangled underneath or anything like that, it does just tend to push it around the house. So yeah, you know, it doesn't necessarily avoid it and leave it in place or anything like that. And that's really it from my point of view. I think you know, overall, I think it's a really good system. So as I say, in terms of price, $799, £799. There is a bit of a promo on, as is always the case with new SwitchBot products on their website, so you can get quite a saving on this at the moment. I will put links down below in the description if you want to pick one of these up, along with another promotion code as well, which you can use for any product on their website, including you know, the K10 Plus Pro Combo. But I'd love to know your thoughts about this particular kind of like whole package, as it were. You know, is this something that would now make you want to move from a traditional vacuum all the way up to, you know, a robot vacuum, you know, because you've got the handheld functionality there as well? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. If you've enjoyed the video, then don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Really does help with the engagement with YouTube and its algorithms and everything. But as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.